2021 from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to all these companies that recruit. Attached to this letter, Right Honourable Speaker, are names of 43 Ugandans that are stranded there. They have been there for more than 3 months. The embassy is closed. They have nothing to eat. They can't house them, so they don't know what to do. Our prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, let the government, because these are Ugandans, let the government... Information?
Thank you very much, Honourable colleague, for giving way. The information I wanted to give you is that last week when we interacted with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they told us about distressed Ugandans in Kenya, that we have so many Ugandans in Kenya who are distressed. And our question was, Uganda is just a stone's throw, Kenya is just a stone's throw distance away. Why are we having Ugandans who are at the neighboring countries but they are distressed? Why can't we make arrangements, maybe using a bus, maybe using a what? So the issue of many Ugandans being distressed is real, and even in Kenya, we are informed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that we have so many Ugandans who are distressed in Kenya.
Thank you, colleague, for the information. So our prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, to be sincere, Uganda as a government has the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, has several ministries, including the Office of the Prime Minister. How should Ugandans who are stranded abroad cry to be helped? So we request that the government really takes this as a serious matter, and we request your office, Right Honourable Speaker, to intervene and see how these Ugandans can be rescued and returned to Uganda. Thank you. I lay on table, Right Honourable Speaker, the letter and the attached list of Ugandans that are stranded and a company that had wished to intervene, but there was a failure between the recruitment companies and the government to help and see whether this company can help to see Ugandans returned.
But what is the content of that letter?
I beg your pardon?
What's the content of the letter you're talking about?
The copy.
What's the content?
The content,
about the letter, but I don't know.
Right Honourable Speaker, I can briefly just read a small part.
Okay.
In 1 second, the content says we have been informed by the Ugandan embassy in Riyadh that the migrant workers on the list attached whom you externalized are currently stranded following the closure of the embassy accommodation center due to resource constraints. Please note that Regulation 69(1) of the Employment Recruitment of Uganda Migrant Workers Abroad, Regulation 2005, places an obligation on the recruitment agency to ensure that workers employed overseas are amply protected and their interests and well-being are promoted. Pursuant to the above regulation, you are hereby directed to arrange with your foreign partners and urgently facilitate the repatriation of the affected migrant workers. Please update the ministry on the measures you have taken in this regard by Monday, 25th January 2021. Lawrence Egulu for Permanent Secretary, and a copy was given to the ED. This letter comes from the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, written on 19th January 2021.
I think we need to get the Minister for Gender to let us know whether indeed the instructions he gave has been implemented, but also I think that the companies execute a bond when they are taking these members. And I don't want to go into it. I think the minister should come. Today is Thursday. This is an issue of violation of human rights. We need an answer on Tuesday next week. Honorable Sebagala.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the issue I'm going to raise is about the suspension or closure of activities of DGF, Democratic Governance Facility. Madam Speaker, Democratic Governance Facility has played a very big role in many fields. Madam Speaker, when we heard that the President has written for the suspension or closure of DGF, Madam Speaker, we are touched because we know what DGF has done in as far as fighting corruption, in as far as empowering communities is concerned. Madam Speaker, we are aware that there are so many NGOs that are being funded by this DGF. We know that there are so many Ugandans who have been employed in that category. And if the president comes out to say that we are closing or we want to suspend activities of DGF, what rings a bell in our minds is that all activities that have been funded, like the media institutions have been funded. Okay.
Information, Honorable Basalirwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sebagala, for giving way. The information I give is that even political parties, right, Honorable Speaker, including the National Resistance Movement, have benefited immensely from funds provided by DGF through iPod and other related activities. The President is even strangling his own party. That's the information I wanted to give.
Madam Speaker, the information I want to grant to the colleague is that even our own committees in the Parliament, I want to cite the Government Assurances Committee, is benefiting from funding from DGF. It has been implementing some of the activities based on this funding. So government benefits equally from DGF. That's the information.
Thank you very much, colleagues, for enriching my argument. Madam Speaker, we cannot really stay here without mentioning that as Parliament, as an institution, we have friendly partners. And we know that one of these partners is DGF, as my colleague has said. Madam Speaker, I wouldn't like His Excellency the President to mix or to be misled that maybe DGF is maybe has involved itself in politics. We all know, Madam Speaker, that when you look at the funding DGF has been giving to media houses to investigate corruption, we have seen on various news when corruption-related issues have been really have come out simply because of the input of DGF. Therefore, I'm requesting, Madam Speaker, that if the directive was from the President and he was misled that DGF is funding activities that are not in line with the development of our country, I think His Excellency the President must find out what the activities DGF is doing and how far they have in fact impacted on the people of Uganda, rather than saying that maybe they may be funding activities that are harming the NRM government. And I'm sure, Madam Speaker, that I wouldn't like the President to relate the poor performance of NRM in Uganda to this DGF, because some of the stories we are getting that maybe there are so many activities that are being funded by DGF that are in Central Region, and that's why maybe NRM performed the way it performed. Madam Speaker, we are talking about humanity. We are talking about how DGF has assisted many Ugandans in as far as fighting corruption is concerned, in as far as empowering communities, and I will request through you, Madam Speaker, that the President should investigate further and let DGF to function normally and to empower Ugandans in all fields, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, of course I have not had time to read the issues surrounding DGF, but I think that the government should at some point come and explain to us the circumstances under which the DGF have been suspended. I don't know what the Prime Minister has to say.
I think we can take the matter up and then come back after investigation. Yes, after investigation, I think.
Okay, we shall expect a statement from the government on that issue. Let's go to item 3.
Item number 3.
Item 3.
Item number 3, statements by ministers. 3.1 on the violation of human rights during elections and kidnap of Ewan Sharif Kato that occurred on Sunday, 24th January 2021 from Chireka Central Market.
Minister of Internal Affairs.
Right Honourable Speaker, maybe for me to be heard more clearly, permit me to remove my mask.
It is a loaded mask.
Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, it is my honour and privilege to share with you this afternoon information relating to the matter of kidnaps that was raised on the floor of this House and referred to me in a letter AB/186/189/1 of 29th January this year. But before I share with you this update, let me take this opportunity to wish all of you a happy 2021, and also to congratulate you for the peaceful elections we have just held, and indeed for the triumph you made in those elections. Whereas the matter at hand was raised by Honorable Semuju in relation to the alleged kidnap of one Mr. Kato Sharif, in order for us to appreciate this matter better, I will also discuss related cases of a similar nature elsewhere in the country. On the 21st of January 2021, if you will all members recollect, I held a press briefing together with the Inspector General of Police on the general security in the country. During this briefing, journalists present in that briefing raised concerns of alleged kidnaps, particularly in Masaka and Kampala metropolitan area. On 1st February this year, the Deputy Inspector General of Police held another briefing, and he too, in that briefing, was informed of alleged kidnaps. In both cases, that is of the 21st of January and on the 1st of February this year, the Director of Criminal Investigation Department of the police was instructed to carry out investigations on all these allegations. To bring it closer to your attention, in Mukono, there were allegations that persons were kidnapped, and these persons included Mr. Male Musa, Mr. Kamata Muhammad, Mr. Kajimu Musa, and Mr. Kiberu Julius. In Masaka, it was alleged that Luganzi Francis, Nalubega Ruth, Cheyune Nasur, Matovu Robert, Lubwama Patrick, Naluswata Teddy, Nakamanya Sylvia, Nasaka Hadija, Musime Justin, Kauma Matia, and Nankiboa Christine had been kidnapped. On the 29th of January, as I have mentioned earlier, I received a letter to make a statement on these matters. Now, as investigations on the alleged kidnaps were going on, the following court orders were received. On the 28th of December 2020, a court order was served on the Attorney General, the Inspector General of Police, and the Chief of the Defense Forces for the release of one Niwabime Daudi. On the 6th of January 2021, a court order was served on the Attorney General, the Inspector General of Police, the Command and Special Investigations Department of the Police for the release of Niwabime Daudi, Lumu Ronald, Kabale Bernard, Mugarura Ronald, and Shafiq. And on the 19th of January 2021, another order was served on the Attorney General, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of the Defense Forces, the Special Forces Command, the Director ISO, and the Commandant Chief of for the release of Male Musa, Kamata Muhammad, Kajimu Musa, and Kiberu Julius. So what are the findings so far? 1. Niwabime Daudi allegedly went missing on the 19th of November 2020 at Kawempe. This alleged kidnap was reported by Babi Gumira Dennis, the father of Niwabime Daudi. He made this report to Kawempe Police Station, and the report is recorded as SDRF 76/27/11/2020. Mr. Bagumila Dennis also filed a miscellaneous case number 368/20, Niwabime David versus Attorney General. As we stand now, investigations are continuing to establish the whereabouts of Niwabime Daudi. There is the matter of the alleged kidnap of Lumu Ronald, Kibale Bernard, Mugarura Ronald, and Shafiq. I would like to state that the above were actually not kidnapped. They were arrested for aiding and abetting terrorism. They were logged as SIDGAF 196/20. These suspects, upon arrest, were interviewed, they recorded statements, and on the 6th of January this year, they were all released on police bond. Kato Sharif. It's alleged that the victim was kidnapped from Kireka Central Market on the 24th of January this year. The investigating team, upon receipt of this information, went to Kireka Central Market, met the chairman of Kireka Central Market, one, Mr. Katende Stephen. The chairperson revealed that the person in question was not Kato Sharif, but Kasozi Sharif. And we are continuing to investigate the whereabouts of Kasozi Sharif. There was the matter of the alleged kidnap of 8 male victims from Mukono district. It's alleged that on the 23rd of December 2020, at about 2 a.m. at Katogo village, Nama Sub-County, Mukono district, 7 men putting on uniforms similar to that worn by the army and a civilian traveling in a numberless vehicle stormed this area and kidnapped Kamya Fred, Kiwanuka Solite, Mukasa Juma, Chakua Joseph, Senkubuge Isma, Ntulume Stephen, and Kiberu Julius. This matter was recorded at Mukono Police Station as CRB 141/2021. On the 24th of December last year, at about 7 a.m., Kiwanuka Fred was found allegedly tortured and abandoned at Busunju village in Kakiri. The others I have mentioned above are not yet seen, and police investigations are still going on to follow up this matter. The alleged kidnap of Kamata Muhammad has been recorded at Mukono as SD 106/28/01 of 2021. It's alleged that on the 23rd of December last year, at about 2 in the morning, at Walusimbi village, Nama Sub-County, Mukono district, a group of 7 men dressed in military uniform and one in civilian dress attacked the village and arrested Kamata Mohammed from his house. Mukono police is still following this matter. There is the alleged kidnap of Serunkuma John Bosco on 3rd of December last year from Nansana, and the abduction of Babiri Rita, Sebaduka Ali, Chibirige Emma, Sula Moyanja, Twaibu Dumba, all allegedly abducted from a carpentry workshop in Buaise on the 18th of November. We are continuing to investigate this matter. In summary, I would like to state the following. That so far, we have 44 cases of alleged kidnap. 7 of these, that is Muyanja Suleiman, Sebaduka Ali Bogere, Twaibu Dumba, Chibirige Emma, Junju Sharif, Kakai Jane, and Babire Rita were not actually kidnapped. They were arrested and were charged, and they have been bailed. 4, that is Lumu Ronald, Kabale Bernard, Mugarura Ronald, and Shafiq were kidnapped, were not actually kidnapped, but they were arrested. Galiwango Rogers, allegedly kidnapped from Chebando with 10 others resurfaced 3 days later, so they are no longer recorded as missing persons. Kiwanuka Fred was allegedly abandoned. We are yet to take a statement from him to determine how he disappeared from Mukono and appeared in Busunju. From this, therefore, 31 cases are yet to be traced, and these 31 are summarized as follows: 11 from Chotera, 9 from Chebandoi Nansana, 1 from Buaise, 7 from Mukono, and 1 from Kireka, and 1 from Mukono. That are the 31 we have not yet been able to account for from the 44 who have been reported as kidnapped. Honorable Right Speaker and honorable colleagues, I have tried to give an update on the continuous incidents of alleged kidnap. As I have indicated, investigations are ongoing, and I undertake to give progress of these investigations with the time as more information is obtained. I would like also to take this opportunity to appeal to you, honorable colleagues, and the public in general, to please report any alleged incidents of kidnap to the police. I can guarantee we will undertake to investigate each and every one of the reported incidents, and we will be able to provide information as and when we get it. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I thank you for this opportunity to give this update on the matter raised on the floor of this House. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Supplementary, Honorable Semuju.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Honorable J.J. Odong, I want to thank you. Today, the tone and content of your address sounds more responsible than the press conference, and I want to thank you. I am only frightened that the Minister for Internal Affairs confirms to Parliament that people are missing, and a month later, they don't know where they are, the Minister of Internal Affairs. In the case of Sharif from Chireka, he was kidnapped during broad daylight. It's not that they broke, like in the case of Asman Semakura, one of the senior FDC members, where they went and broke into this house. They drove, parked at the market, went, put him on handcuffs, and drove away. I want to find out from the Minister for Internal Affairs, when Zebra was killed in Kawempe, police said they had seen that vehicle called the drone going to Chebando and going somewhere, and eventually, but that's how far they went. What is the use of these cameras that you have, Honorable J.J. Odong? In Chireka, where we are talking about, there are more than 10 cameras, almost ever after a few meters. What is the use of these cameras? Are the kidnappers so powerful that you are even frightened to follow them up? Because like that case of the zebra who was killed, police said, okay, on our cameras you have seen the drone going this side and going this side. I'll take information with permission from Madam Speaker.
Permission, Honorable Mungin.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank Honorable Semuju for giving me information. Honorable Minister, I want to bring information in addition to what Honorable Semuju has mentioned in regards to the cameras that we have. I remember it was in November, when there were shootings in Kampala. I painfully lost a relative, a young boy of 17 years. He's called Gift in Kawempe. He was shot by the police. I actually raised that issue to your attention. It wasn't answered. And being a citizen of this country, I saw that these cameras would be very helpful to the nation in regards to following up the victims. This young boy was shot by the police, and up to today it is in silence. And when Honorable Ssemujju talks about the cameras, I think we've put those things there as a decoration. They are not working in the interest of the people. The information I want to give you, Honorable Minister, despite the fact that there were violations during the elections, and I can confirm that in the different parts, it may not be necessarily on the NRM side or on the opposition side, but for all Ugandans. I would like to say that there were so many things that happened in this country, many killings that happened, and no one came out to save the name, even to save the name of government by clarifying, because this young boy of 17, Gift, he was all over the social media. He's the boy I knew passionately, very good, a young boy, but he died when the mother sent him to go and buy, to load airtime from a nearby town, and he was shot by the police. Everyone saw, but nothing was mentioned about him. So, as a Minister for Internal Affairs, Honorable Minister, my senior, my father actually, and I respect you, you know that. Really, I think some of these things should be brought to book, because even as we sit today here and we labor to talk for the people, my heart yearns, cries for that boy who died at 17 and he was in seniorship, very young. And no statement, no nothing. To make matters worse, the mother of that boy is even an NRM supporter. She's even a councillor. She's a councillor of the disabled in Kawempe, representing NRM. Up to today, she's yearning. It's actually the NUP, the NUP, what is the NUP in full? It's the NUP that buried that son of hers, to show how ungrateful. So the information I was giving you, Honorable Ssemujju Nganda, and the House, is in regards to how effective are these cameras when they are everywhere in Kampala, in terms of being securing our people and tracing those people who really commit crimes, those who are killed anyhow, and we don't even get the details of their deaths. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, finally, the issue of the camera, the Minister can answer. After the death of Zebra, the boxer, the President said he had deployed troops that had gained experience while fighting Al-Shabaab. He had also deployed troops that had gained experience fighting ADF. And in the particular death of Zebra, he said they killed him because they were in a war formation. Can the Minister help us understand? Because many of these cases, either it is JAT, it is CMY, it is military, sometimes you don't know which part of security, whether SFC, whether the war situation as declared by the President has ended. Because I can understand the limitation of your ministry and police when people are being kidnapped by people with training from Al-Shabaab, with people from training from the mountains. You have for Kampala, Patrick Onyang, and I told him I have 2 ladies at my residence. Their husbands who work in Owino were kidnapped. He told me, I don't know whether JAT or send them to my office, we'll find out. At every police station I have visited in my constituency, there is an office of CMI. CMI has already taken over police. You have mingled, you don't know whether you are dealing with the military, whether you are dealing with the CMI, whether you are dealing with the JAT. In one of the cases, Madam Speaker, and I'm sorry I'm taking more time than I thought I will, children of late Major Chigun, one of them was filming soldiers at a polling station in one of the elections. So they arrested the brother. When the sister complained, they also took her. And then they took them to court martial immediately, sent them to Chitaria. I am told, finally, the reason some of these people were investigating and you can't trace them is that they have already been killed. That's why you can't locate them, and you will continue reporting that their investigations as to where their whereabouts. Were they kidnapped by Kenyans? For you, a whole general of the military heading the police, because we thought police should benefit from your experience as a general of the military, that you can't get people.
No, I think you know.
Very short, Honourable Speaker. The Honourable Speaker, if the Minister can tell us and the Ugandans, we are seeing many traffic roadblocks almost everywhere. But Honourable Speaker, you can see many numberless vehicles moving, unstopped. To whom it may concern, they are not even taking responsibility of many, even including these Kamunyes, the tax. No number plate in front, no number plate behind. You cannot even identify who is, all of them tinted. Is there any way the Honourable Minister can maybe guide on who should have a tinted vehicle? Because all of them are completely black, no number plates, and how are we going to avoid the kidnap? That's the information I wanted to give my brother. Thank you.
Saliba. 3 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I also want to thank the Honourable Minister, Alhaji Abubakar J.J. Odong, for the statement. And Honourable Speaker, I have used this title Alhaji deliberately. Honourable Speaker, I think the concern that was raised in Parliament was about the violation of human rights. Unfortunately, the Minister is evading that crucial issue of violation. Honourable Speaker, we were concerned at the manner in which people were being arrested, and the manner which is contrary to the Constitution. Because the Constitution is very clear on the mode and manner of arrest. If a security officer comes to arrest you, the first thing they have to do is to identify themselves. Honourable Speaker, this is not happening. Number two, they must inform you in the language in which you understand why you are being arrested and the offense for which you are being arrested. This is not happening. Number three, they must give you an opportunity to inform your lawyer, your relatives, your next of kin. This is not happening. Number four, you should be taken to a gazetted detention facility. This is not happening. Number five, you must not be detained beyond 48 hours. This is not happening. And that's why, Honourable Speaker, the public is using the word kidnap. It is a very strong word, and the Minister, you should be concerned. The reason why people are saying the security is kidnapping Ugandans is because the mode of arrest is completely against the Constitution. And I think that is where the focus should be. Can we, as a parliament, demand that henceforth nobody should be arrested unconstitutionally? Because even the people you are saying we are later released, we are not kidnapped, actually they were illegally arrested. It is not that police has a right to arrest anybody anyhow. The arrest must follow the law, and that's why Ugandans are concerned at the manner in which people are being arrested. Finally, Honourable Speaker, you are in this country. We have local council, defense secretaries everywhere. Long ago, when there was still some sanity in the country, before anybody would be arrested, there would be courtesy to inform the Secretary for Defense on the village, even the chairperson LC1. It is not happening anymore. That's why you go to a Secretary for Defense to inquire the whereabouts of a person, nobody knows. Sometimes people are arrested and even DPCs are not informed. So you go and harass a DPC over somebody who has been arrested and there is no information. And I think that's what the Minister should be addressing about the mode and manner of arrest. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, when you look at the Minister's statement, it leaves a lot to be desired, Madam Speaker. We have talked about kidnaps since we began the election process. And there are so many Ugandans that have been arrested, that have been kidnapped. Madam Speaker, you directed our Committee on Human Rights to investigate all related human rights abuses during the election period. And indeed, we have started on that work. Madam Speaker, up to now, we are getting many Ugandans calling us, telling us that people or men in military uniform came at midnight, came at 9 during the day, and they took the husband, they took the wife, they took the children. Madam Speaker, we cannot say that kidnaps ended during the election period. Up to now, there is some handpick in various parts of this country. And I'm surprised when the minister says that they have, since November, they have 38 or 40 people that they are now still investigating. November up to now, they're investigating. And the relatives of these people are really suffering. Because, Madam Speaker, it could be okay that I'm taken and my relatives know that I'm at CPS, I'm at Kicharia. But many of these relatives don't know where their people are. They don't know. Madam Speaker, right now, if we go to various police cells, they are full. Every day they are getting youth, they are taking youth. Every day they are, in fact, the best one used is kidnapping. They are kidnapping youth and they are taken to various police cells. And getting someone out there, you need to go you need to have money, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I believe that the Ministry of Internal Affairs at times is not in control, as it is for police. Because when you go to police, for them they say, our work is to protect someone who has been brought here. But we don't know why he was brought, and we don't have the powers even to release, even to give a bond, unless we have been given that permission from someone above. I believe, Madam Speaker, as I wind up, that the issue of human rights abuse is of paramount importance. No wonder you are in NRM or in the opposition. When you are abusing human rights of Ugandans, it really touches all of us, because an abuse to one Uganda is an abuse to every Ugandan. Therefore, we will request the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I don't know whether they coordinate with the Ministry of Defense, with the Ministry of Security, because it seems each security agency is doing its own things and in its own way. So if there is that kind of arrangement where we could ask the minister, and the minister is telling us we don't know, maybe we ask the military, maybe we ask the SFC, maybe we ask security. Madam Speaker, many Ugandans down there are living fear because of that uncoordinated movements of kidnapping Ugandans. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
That's what. Oh, no. Honourable Cooper, Ogon, then the Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I just want the Minister to clarify, because I didn't get it on this statement, the issue of the killing of this boxer, Zebra. The President did admit on TV that was killed by the security. Today, Madam Speaker, I met a widow called Mercy Kankusi. Is wondering why, after the President had admitted to the country live on TV, why those known people have not been arrested. Maybe today, since the president is going to address the nation today, the prime minister should tell the president to say something, because the widow is in pain. They have not heard anything, despite the fact that the president admitted that he was killed by the security officers who are now known. But also maybe the Minister of Internal Affairs can clarify, because in the grapevines are saying CID, police, and the IGP handed the investigation report to the president. So the president must tell the country what happened, because maybe the minister can confirm whether that's also true, whether the investigation will conclude. But the widow is really in pain and wondering why the people who the president had admitted are known, no action has taken, justice has not been done to the late Zebra. So that's the clarification I would ask, but the Prime Minister or the Minister can inform the President also, such that since he made it live, how far this has gone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me first to thank the Minister for the statement. We have seen situations where ministers have been asked to bring statements to the House and they take so long. But I want to appreciate the Honorable Minister for the work that he has done. But I have comments, specifically one on the issue of the security cameras. Madam Speaker, I am not sure under which docket these security cameras lie. Either they are under Internal Affairs or the Ministry of ICT or whichever ministry. I want to demand that the government gives this House a statement on the functionality and reliability of these security cameras. Because I want to believe we spent as a country a lot of money to put these security cameras in place. I want people to cry about the rigging of elections in the polling stations. Right Honorable Speaker, if these cameras are so reliable, they should be able even to go a long way in detecting who has rigged an election and how. Yes, people will be able to see somebody ticking or kicking somebody because they want to take charge of the ballot papers. Yes, at close range, at far range. So how reliable are these security cameras? We are demanding for a statement, Madam Speaker, through your seat. Let the relevant ministry bring a statement to this House to tell us something about the functionality and reliability with evidence of these cameras. Number two, Right Honorable Speaker, I know it is very difficult to run a state. Sometimes we have hardcore criminals. But even amidst such challenges, we must still stay under the law, all of us. If you allow a judicial process to take its course, we shall all live in harmony. It is very painful for a family to lose somebody to a kidnapper and they don't know exactly what has happened. And therefore, I would ask that we all abide by the law. Lastly, some of these families have lost people to kidnaps. But these people who have gone missing are the ones who are breadwinners in the homes. Who is looking after these families? Who is paying for fees? Who is doing A, B, C, D? What is government doing in supporting such families? Some of them probably have been taken. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, I want to thank the Minister once more. We believe that you are going to help us to sort out these problems using your experience. Thank you.
Minister. This is the rope. Okay, Honorable Gwal.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker,
I would like to thank the Minister for the statement, and actually he has given us a lot more information than I was expecting. The Minister is aware of the details of the numbers of people kidnapped or arrested, which means actually there is some work going on. Right, Honorable Speaker, my concern is that when people are missing, the lives of the people are threatened. You and me, we represent our people in this parliament. And today is happening in one region. It is happening mainly in central Uganda. And it is sending panic in the country. After central Uganda, where next? Which region next? So we are a bit scared as to why, particularly me who come from the north and Dokolo. I'm very scared as to why this kidnapped and arrest is taking place in Buganda. And I'm worried that after Buganda, the next region could actually be the north. And probably starting from Dokolo, and I'm very, very worried about that. So can the Minister also, in the process of replying, tell us why is this arrest taking place in Buganda? Because we believe we are united with a country which is united in every way. So we will not like a situation where people will think Baganda are different from the rest of the country. You touch a Muganda, you would have touched a Mulango, you would have touched a Muteso, you would have touched a Mukiga. So we would like to find out why is our brothers and sisters in Buganda being attacked, arrested, kidnapped, and the rest of the country is keeping quiet. Right, Honorable Speaker, I feel that the statement of the Minister must be holistic. I have heard from the media that the Deputy IGP has given instructions to the intelligence agencies to give report and urgently about the missing person. Now, if this minister is the one presiding over the same ministry and your technocrats are asking themselves as to who is responsible for this arrest and where are they, then we are wondering, right, Honorable Speaker, whether we have called the right minister to respond to this statement. I thank you, right, Honorable Speaker.
Honourable Minister, I just want to, if you could enlighten us, in the early days of the administration of the present IG, Inspector General of Police, there was supposed to be, or there was a census of guns in this country, I think with a view to identifying who has the guns and withdrawing those guns which are probably not in the right hands. But we are concerned that you see people on the street with no uniform, no identification, armed in the open and walking, and life just goes on. We want to know who they are, who can account for their guns. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And I would like to thank colleagues for the supplementary questions they have raised. First of all, let me respond to the very last question, Right Honourable Speaker, which you asked. You indicated concern about the question of guns out there and our ability not to be able to identify them. And yet, according to what you have said, you've heard that there was an attempt to record all the guns in the country. First of all, the exercise on fingerprinting of guns, that's the process of identifying the guns, has been going on. We've been able do that for all vehicles in police possession. So we now know the police guns, to whom it belongs, and if it commits a crime, we can be able to match the cartridge to a gun, and if it was from the police stores, we will be able to say it was this gun, and you can be able to do the following actions of identifying the individual responsible. We've done that with the UPDF. We have also done that with the individuals who have licensed guns. But Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, you will appreciate the fact that there are illegal guns still out there, and we have not been able to fingerprint this. It is still an exercise going on, and we hope we will be able to siphon off as many of those illegal guns as we can. But it is true there are still illegal guns which have not been fingerprinted. There was a concern as to where next after Buganda. And I would like to clearly assure the honourable member that Buganda is not being targeted. You will remember in the history of this parliament, about 2017, we had a wave of murders of women, and it was in a particular area of this country. The point I'm making is criminality tends to move in waves and in cycles, and we must take note of that and be aware. We'll be dealing with it in that manner. So it is not intended, the wave simply happens to be in this particular place. Honorable Aogon, Honorable Amumin, and indeed Honorable Semuju pointed out the question on how useful the CCTV cameras are. Are they reliable, or are they just, I believe they call it scarecrows? Nothing happens, they are not doing anything. I want to take this opportunity to inform you that indeed the cameras are functioning and they are doing a job they were designed for. However, you must also note that the whole country has not yet been covered. You've just come back from the countryside, and you will notice we are continuing to grow into Mbarara, into Soroti, into Lira, into Gulu, into West Nile. We are in the process of linking this all to the Central Command Center. It is also important to note that the cameras do not cover 100% of the entire country. Even in Kampala, where they are now functional, there are still gaps, and we ought to remember that some of these gaps may be taken advantage of. Finally, in relation to cameras, it may not be prudent for me to share publicly all the capabilities, all the weaknesses, all the problems related with the cameras, because the bad elements could easily take advantage of this. But indeed, I would welcome again the Committee of Parliament on Defence and Internal Affairs to have an opportunity to come to the command center in Naguru and have an opportunity to see what goes on in that place in relation to the functioning of the CCTV cameras. Honorable Semuju pointed out, and I want to differ with him a little. You said we are unable to produce the individuals I have mentioned because they may already be dead. I wouldn't like to go that far. I have not yet concluded the investigations, and I cannot therefore categorically share that view which you have just stated. Secondly, you also wondered why it is taking long to come to the conclusion of these investigations. Yes, many of these happened in November, some in December, but you also appreciate that during that same period, there were very many other activities that could have taken a lot of attention away from specifically addressing this. But secondly, also, I want you to remember that investigations are a painstaking, time-consuming exercise. It would be wrong for us to hurry through for the sake of wanting to respond to public demand. It is correct. We must recognize that. We must do a meticulous job, and we must be able to come to the conclusion of this matter.
You see, Madam Speaker, these matters are specific. The Chireka that I'm talking about, there are more than 3 cameras at the market. And now you are saying the cameras have not reached Lira, they have not reached. I'm talking about where they are. But too, you're talking about lives. You can't say that at leisure you will come next year to say these people are here. You're talking about lives, where are they?
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker. The Minister of Internal Affairs, who is responding to these questions, is not a usual person, he is a military man. And he knows what we mean by talking about guns. When these people met him, Honorable Speaker, the Fourth Estate, they even showed him, even at his home, you have been watching, Honorable Minister, vehicles having civilians carrying guns to the extent of carrying revolvers. You know what is meant by a revolver, an AK-47, an SMG, and those categories of guns. Now, when we are asking these questions, actually, I was expecting you to give us a detailed answer that you have even arrested those people who have been carrying guns in drones, but putting on civilian attire that have been shown to you by the press. That could give us a better answer other than what you are answering. Right, Honorable Speaker, General Jejodo is a general, and he knows who is supposed to guard him. He's not a police officer. He's supposed to be guarded by an army officer. But even now, we know that the military police is guarding civilians, yet they are supposed to arrest you as a general. So the question I'm seeking, have you taken interest in identifying these vehicles which have been baptized as drones? In public, faces are shown holding guns that you are well addressed to yourself, that are not supposed to even be held by police officers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to respond to Honorable Chiungu's concern, along with the concerns that were raised by the Honorable Member from Kono, in relation to the numberless tinted vehicles. It is true, many of the incidents I have quoted today were perpetrated by these vehicles. We've taken interest, we have arrested some of them, some of the individuals in these vehicles, together with their arms, have been arrested and they are in our custody. If you wanted, I could be able to give you name later on, but I didn't come with those names. But yes, we have arrested some. For example, in Mukono, there was such an incident and the people involved were arrested and they are in our custody. I would like also to respond to the question of the manner, as Honorable Asumani pointed out, the manner and mode of arrest which seem to contravene human rights. I want to state that in some instances, it is true there is overzealousness on the part of the soldiers that are carrying out these acts. We've stated severally that each police officer has got a book that indicates the standard operating procedures on this matter. And where an officer falls short, he is individually liable. And many of these officers have appeared in the police standards unit for disciplinary action for actions they have perpetrated. So yes, some cases the officers have overstepped, but they have had to answer. Let me once again thank you and request that this matter is a matter that concerns all of us. Let us continue to cooperate. Let you report. If you think a police officer you've reported to is not taking action, I will be very glad you reported to me directly. I will take the matter up and we will try and find a solution. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I thank you, colleagues, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for responding to the concerns of the population. Can we go to item 3.2? Item 3.2.
Item number 3.2, statement by Minister on the continued prohibition of Uganda dairy products to access the Kenyan market.
Minister of West Africa. It's not here.
Item number 4, laying of papers in accordance with Rule 31 of the Rules of Procedure.
What is it, Honourable Song?
Well, no, Speaker, the procedure matter I'm raising is in relation still to the Minister of Internal Affairs. I raised the matter here last year about the Mineral Protection Unit, where we saw that all the police officers are coming from one tribe, and there are a lot of issues on this Mineral Protection Unit. I had the Minister yesterday for Minerals, Honourable Sarupendi, and the Minister has never come back to clarify on this matter, but there's a lot of issues coming out. Then, Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister of State for Education was here, and I raised the matter on the closure of opening of schools, but he told me he has brought a report, one-on-one, but I don't see him. And we don't know what's happening about our children. We're expecting the same. So I don't know whether to be procedure okay, to know when the Minister will come back to tell us about the Mineral Protection Unit, which has only one tribe running minerals, and they are swindling these minerals heavily through the same team. I don't even need it. It's on record. It is one tribe. Can I mention it? But I said it here, I even read their names. They are all from Western Uganda, from Ankole. I raised this matter here, Right Honourable Speaker, and the Minister was supposed to come and explain. They have caused the havoc. How do they go there? We need to get an answer, and we deployed them. They are all from Ankole, Banyankole. No, I'm not one of them. At least Madam Speaker knows where I come from, and she knows all my names. But that's the procedure I'm raising. And the Minister was here for education. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now, honourable members, yesterday we concluded debate on the issues of the mining conference from Buhoshu and from Murende, and we ruled that the Minister will come on Tuesday, 9th February, to respond to the issues raised in those reports, and also the composition of the mining police. We expect you on Tuesday, 9th of February, to respond to those issues. Let's go to the next item.
Item number 4, laying of papers in accordance with Rule 31 of the Rules of Procedure.
Is the Commissioner here? Commissioner Hati, please come and assist us.
Easy. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2014 for the following local governments: Kabwoya Sub-County, Hoima District; Central Division, Kasese Municipal Council; Rutete Sub-County, Kabalole District; Chegera Sub-County, Apache District; Apache Sub-County, Apache District; Harugale Sub-County, Bundibujo District; Sorot Sub-County in Sorot District; Aboke Sub-County in Kole District; Aye Sub-County in Kole District; Bala Sub-County in Kole District; Ngola Sub-County in Ngola District; Bukedia Sub-County in Bukedi Sub-District; Bukedia District; Lolo Sub-County in Amudat District; Osukuru Sub-County Kumi District; Atuta Sub-County in Kumi District; Nyelo Sub-County in Kumi District; Kaloro Sub-County in Palisa District; Nyamwamba Division, Kasese Municipal Council; Olum Sub-County in Otuke District; Bulembea Division in Kasese Municipal Council. I beg to lay.
Members, all of those are sent to the Committee of Public Accounts, Local Government, for perusal and report back. Item 5. Item number 5, motion for adoption of the report of the Natural Resources, Environment and Natural Resources Committee on the flooding of Nakapiripirit, Bukedea districts resulting from up-mining of limestone. Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I present the report of the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on the flooding in Ulambuli, Nakapiripit, and Bukedea districts, which is resulting from the mining operation in the Elgon area. Madam Speaker, on the 30th of October 2019, in a matter of national importance, Honorable Alex Bulondo of Bulambuli County raised the concern that due to mining activities in Nabong Sub-County, Bulambuli District, 7 sub-counties in Bulambuli District and parts of Nakapiripit and Bukedea districts were being flooded. But this was due to mining activities of Kampala Cement and Hima Cement factories. In his prayers, Madam Speaker, he prayed that the Committee of Environment and Natural Resources visit the area and assess the damage caused by the 2 companies and also assess what can be done for the people who have been affected. The House directed the committee to undertake this work, but you also directed that the Minister of Disaster Preparedness arranges some support for that area. And I'll be talking about that as I conclude. We visited and inspected the flooded sites in the Bulambuli district. We inspected sites also in the Kapchora district. However, we were unable to reach some sites because of the flooding in the area, and the area at that time was inaccessible. And also the site for Simba Cement was inaccessible, was not available for us to access it. Madam Speaker, when we got there, we found that under a site which was under development by Simba Cement. Several houses located at the periphery of the site had been flooded and they were uninhabitable. People could not stay in these houses. The gardens of a large swath of the area of Nabong sub-county were actually also had been abandoned because of the floods. So people had nowhere to grow crops. And actually many had migrated from this area trying to find somewhere where they can stay. We also noted cracks in the walls of several houses due to use of explosives by the mining company. The community near the site, operated by Toyo Cement, also had several pit latrines which had caved in. And the very sad thing here, Madam Speaker and honorable members, is that the floods had somehow, the floods from the mountains where the mining was going on, together with the fecal matters from the pit latrines that had caved in, had all interwoven and was flooding around. Some roads in Nabong sub-county were flooded and impassable. We also noted along the Mbare Moroto Road, several structures, including toilets, had been flooded to form large pools of water, which were hazardous and potentially leading to spread of waterborne disease. There was also threat of increased breeding of ground mosquitoes due to large ponds of stagnant water. And there was evidence that stagnant water along the newly constructed road of Mbale Moroto, the newly constructed road, would eventually lead to damage of that road if not properly managed. The community near the Toyo Cement quarry site reported increased cases, and this was well out of the ordinary because it's not what we had expected to hear, but they reported that there was increased defilement of gauze by the employees of the mining companies. Now, what is the cause of the flooding? One thing, Madam Speaker, and this is on page 5, which we noted was that a number of mining companies were operating in the area, and this is in table 1 of the report, which is on page 5. A number of companies are operating in the area, and this had increased the vulnerability of the people in the area. 6 companies with the mining leases in Kapchorwa were mining pozzolana, which is used for cement. Some of the flooded areas, such as Buikonge and Nabongo, are part of the Kyoga catchment area and are poorly drained. So this is something to bear in mind, that they are poorly drained, and that also adds to their vulnerability. And that also the area is traversed by a number of rivers, like River Cheptui, Chebonet, River Nabongo, and the Sipi. And then on page 7, 421, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development was keen on blaming this on heavy rains experienced in the area. NEMA also reported that the area is prone to flooding, that however human activities like agriculture, road construction, and urbanization had also had a large contribution to this flooding. However, on page 11, the committee concluded that although the area is susceptible to flooding, there was a link between the flooding and the mining activities in the area. And against this, we make several recommendations. Now, probably some of these would have been avoided if good practices were being observed. But there are problems of, first of all, there was lack of regular inspections of the activities on the mining sites. Some companies have been mining for the last 15 years. We asked the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for at least reports for the last 5 years. Unfortunately, they were unable to provide those reports. Instead, they gave us reports for 3 months, for 3 years, which many members of the committee did not find satisfactory, and they were fear that they had purposely been manufactured for purposes of fulfilling what had been required. The committee also noted laxity in monitoring operations of licenses after issuance of the environmental social impact assessment certificates and the mining leases. There was also a report of no joint funding, no funding being allocated to support some of the activities, which is leading to environmental degradation, leading to revenue loss, underutilization of resources. There was a problem of lack of inspectors, and we report this on page 15. In the Ministerial Policy Statement of 2019-2020, it showed a number of key positions vacant. There was also lack of environmental monitoring plans. Environmental monitoring plan offer an indication of what is going to be done and how that is going to be regulated. But these, in many instances, these were lacking, or if we are there, they are not being followed. Then there were inconsistencies in the inspection report. One very interesting example, there was a monitoring of Tororo Cement on the 4th of July 2018, but they were given notes of inspection for purposes of notifying them of the findings that they had discovered when they did the inspection, which was dated 6th of July 2018. So this gave us concern as to how this is actually being conducted. And then there are also problems with the manner of operation on mining sites. There's a problem of the method of quarrying for Pozzolana stones, where several machines were being used to remove the overburden, which is in the open pit mining, removing the overburden, the topsoil, and then the dust from the surface of the mine, then drilling, and depending on the hardness of the rock, using blasting machines, and then getting to the rock which they want to get to. And this is what was causing this caving in of toilets and that sort of thing. Then there's also a problem of restoration, that these were not, after this mining, they are not being restored. There's also insufficiency in mining plans. Some plans do not indicate the actual activities to be undertaken, and they generally talk in very generalized terms about mining in Uganda. Then there was also the breach of mining conditions. Mining conditions are intended to offer safety, some protection of what is so there is anticipation of some hazards, and these hazards are managed by the conditions of mining that are given to the entity. But in many cases, these were not being followed. Now, all these, and then there was also, very interestingly, there was also lack of record on the production volumes. There are no inspectors from Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development at the mining site. There were no URA officials. Obviously, this had a direct bearing on how much is being mined, how much is being on how much are they paying the royalty, and obviously affecting the revenue that will not be generating from this. Then there was, the ministry reported good corporate social responsibility by many of these mining companies. They told us they had drilled boreholes, they had built health centers, they had offered scholarship, employment, and then helped with skill transfer. But unfortunately, this was in Kapchorwa, in other areas. The area of Bulambuli, which was most affected, had not witnessed any of these corporate social responsibility activity. So, Madam Speaker, all this, Madam Speaker and honorable members, all this has had an impact on the flooding in the area. So, against that background and against each of these areas, we make recommendation in the report, which runs through page 11 and page 12, page 14, page 15, and several other pages. But let me conclude with this, Madam Speaker. I've tried to summarize it. Let me conclude with this, Madam Speaker. On the 30th of October 2019, when Honorable Bulondo presented this petition, you directed, and I quote, Minister of Relief, Disaster Preparedness, Refugees is required to go and assist the people of Bulambuli who have been affected by the flooding. Madam Speaker, about 2 years later, the Minister of Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees has not moved anywhere near this site. Madam Speaker, it seems they took it just for fun. You may like to direct this again to happen because the people there are still suffering. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the place at the moment is not flooded because it's a dry season. However, the lives there are threatened, and they are bracing for when the rains start again. But what we find very interesting is that this matter has been brought to the attention of the Ministry of Energy, but they have not offered any intervention. The Minister may correct me if I'm wrong. But as of this morning, the people of Bulambuli, this flooded area, had not witnessed any intervention from the ministry. Not even talking to these companies under their good corporate social responsibility to see if they can dig trenches to divert this water or to offer a good drainage for this water, which is now a hazard in the area. On that note, Madam Speaker, I thank you for allowing us this time to present our report, and I beg to lay the minutes from the meeting and other submissions that we had in the process of this, in the process of the report, in the process of the.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and members of the Committee of Environment and Natural Resources for this report. And I must commend your committee for producing several reports on your sector, but more importantly, the fact that you have identified policy vacuums that the government needs to address. I want to thank you so much. Honourable members, the report has been signed by the necessary minimum members of Parliament. You can make your comments. Honorable Chekamondo will go to Bulisa, Honorable Kayinza, Tourism City, and is that Songa? Okay, and then Amagin. Now these masks, they only show your forehead, so it's difficult.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you upon the success of the recent elections. Madam Speaker, as a member from Kapchora district, you will remember that since the 8th Parliament, I raised this issue of the mining area. When you look at the area where the mining is taking place, it is an area which is holding water from Mount Elgon. And the moment you reach the base where the water table is, the water just gushes out. We have seen this from the roads that have been working on in Kapchora. The machines work on shortly and the water is up. So when you go there and see for yourself, if mining continues at that area, Madam Speaker, then we may have no road to Moroto and we may have no Bulambuli completely. And even Kapchora connecting to Mbale, we may use a boat. So it's a very serious matter. For us on Mount Elgon, it's a mountain that needs not to be tampered with because all the water is coming from Mount Elgon and this is the area. So Madam Speaker, when these people use the strong machines, the rock is shaken and the particles now open up. So the water just gushes. So whatever water comes on top of it just goes underground and it is out. So it is a very serious matter. Even this one of Tororo cement, the moment it is touching the water table, it's going to be very serious. And another corner is when you are at Tororo area where those Tororo cement is mining, where our chairperson and the team did not reach. On the opposite side, there is an S corner where the last time we had the UPDF accident. Now, inside the middle there is where the people are mining. So the deeper they will go, this other side will break and block the road. And the other side also will block the road the other side. So it's a very dangerous issue. I know we need minerals, we need money, but there are certain areas of our country that need not to be tampered with. And especially that area of Kapchora district and areas of Mount Elgon. Let's spare them for especially water. You can do so.
Thank you, honorable colleague, for the opportunity to give you information. Madam Speaker, the information that I want to give is this. It is not only Bulambuli that is being affected by this mining when the water comes down. Even as in Kumi, on the Lake Bisina, you are aware, Madam Speaker, that we have a ferry now connecting Kumi to Toroma, Katakwi. Recently, it came to halt. It couldn't operate because of too much water. And I think scientifically, if you study, you might connect this water still to that very mining. So it is a bigger problem than what we think here. Thank you. That's the information.
Madam Speaker, we also have a very live example on the border side of Kenya and Uganda as you enter. Near Molem there where they harvested, I think it was Maram or something, they harvested some material, and when it reached the level table, the whole thing was covered up. It is very poisonous, and I have the fear that even this area of Kapchora, where Tororo cement is harvesting cement from, Madam Speaker, the moment the water will gush up there, it is going to be very dangerous for this country and very dangerous for the people of Kapchora. And then secondly, even the health centers, they are saying that it was just a social responsibility. None of those companies has contributed to any of those health centers. Those were health centers that were there before, and this was put up by government, but none of the companies have come up to do, even just a bridge, even the bridge which is next to Tororo cement industry. They could not even make the bridge for the people. So people have just contributed, put their timber, and no heavy vehicle can pass there. So when we talk of social responsibility by these people, there is no So the areas People have lost houses. Just as our chairperson of the committee has
and Abala. Ocho?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable.
3 minutes, please. And no national dialogue.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I think it is abundantly clear that national dialogue is long overdue. Even you saw the general struggling to explain the challenges. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee for swift response to the flood, particularly in the mineral sector. But I would like to use this opportunity to plead through you, Madam Speaker, that the Prime Minister does the same for the other floods you know, which have affected us. I came to Madam Speaker, people of Ntoroko, Honorable Pachito of Pakwach. I would like to request that next week the Prime Minister's office and the related ministries come and also report to our dire need of about 50 square miles underwater in Bulisa in particular. Honorable Speaker, related the issue of interministerial collaboration, interagency coordination, multi-sectoral cross-pollination is increasingly becoming a problem. The Mining Act as it is not tight enough to deal with hydrology issues which are under the sector of water. You know, I'm in a place where we are going in another gray area, for example, the oil and gas, where the oil production is going to depend on water abstraction. But government has not invested in the studies related to water abstraction, and yet it is a transboundary water resource which may require a permit from the Nile Basin. I'm bringing this aware that just Tuesday, Madam Speaker, Mama Mavira, the Minister of Environment, said she has environmental police which are a challenge and some have overstayed. Honorable Sewunga has just reported that it seems some relatives, friends and in-laws are running the mineral police. Now, these are big challenges. These are big challenges, and as the previous, my sister has just mentioned, we talked on Tuesday here about the relationship between surface water and groundwater. On the foot of all hill areas, there is gravity water. So the moment you mine under any hill area, you are bound to get water. Even when you drill these simple boreholes and sadoofs, you will find water 15 meters, 12 meters down. This technology is very well known with Maibazi in Usoga. Now, this means that apart from just this flooding and now showing the problem, there is already pollution of underground water going on. The chemicals being used in the minerals. So species are dying and the water quality is very poor. This Committee of Natural Resources is
mentioned. Have existed. At such a time, the water harvested would have been even used for irrigation, because where we are moving as a country. We want food production. It would have ensured food production, and food security would have food security would have increased in the area. Madam Speaker, the companies that carry out mining is a sector in this country which would have helped us a lot in revenue collection, would have boosted our revenue. Right now we are struggling, of course, with the coming in of corona and other factors, especially after elections. This is an area we should pay a lot of attention to in terms of revenue. As a nation, we need a lot. We need to revamp the economy, but this area should be, this sector should be closely monitored because it's a rich area, minerals are all over. We cannot even now, they said there are no inspectors. Of course, we have the environmental officers in each district, but we need specialists who will help us evaluate how much these companies are harvesting from the minerals, and in turn, it will help us, it will enable the country establish how much revenue we are to generate from them. But above all, as part of their corporate social responsibility, they should not only, they should specialize so much in the area of environmental protection, because all these big challenges coming with effects of climate change. So I request that as a ministry, we keep a close eye on the companies in the area of production, but also to ensure that they pay a lot of attention to the communities in which they are operating for safety of the community and for protection of the environment. Thank you.
Nyarukundo, then Jackie Amulin, then Songa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I add my voice to congratulate you for winning the election. Of course, General Ali, the veteran. Right Honorable Speaker, you know, when I was a young boy, I used to read about Hard Times by Charles Dickens, and the main boy